Don't worry about going viral.
Yeah.
Do not worry about going viral, because I will tell you right now, just by posting every single day, we have eyes on us. We see past people that we used to work with watching all our videos. We see new entrepreneurs watching our videos, and it's only a matter of time before people start reaching back out to us, or just reaching out to us in general. Like, business will come there. Your message needs to be on point, but the business will come in, right?
True.
People will start asking. Welcome to the Brand of Brothers podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to document our journey from the trenches. As we scale, we'll share insights on running a business, building your brand, and what it takes to grow a media empire. Our mission is to help 100 business leaders elevate their personal brands. And as always, as I get better at this, I won't even need the paper anymore.
I couldn't have said better, my friend.
I'm Onur Has.
And I'm Okan Has.
And let's get into the podcast.
What episode?
So we always start, this is episode 5.
Gotcha.
Episode 5, we always start off with, if you're new to the channel, we always start off with the wins for the week.
Okay.
And the wins for the week, for me, is what are the wins for the week for me?
I don't know.
What's the win? Start off with your wins for the week.
Finishing Kyle's The Panda Man's newsletter, not sales page. I'd say getting that together and understanding like that brand, that vision, you know.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good.
All right.
It took some time, but
All right. That's good.
yeah. How about you?
How do you feel about that?
Feel pretty good. You know, there's a couple more things we got to do, and then we're launching the live webinar December 10th.
So if you're interested in fasting, go check that out. We'll put the link in the bio.
Maybe we could even talk about like, you know, the prep work that goes in, that's involved with promoting something like that through organic and what that takes.
You
know?
Yeah. I think the win for the week on my side is that we went to San Antonio with Vince. It was a great turnout, great just like setup in general. We made the entire process pretty quick, set up everything. We bought a new board that allows you to live stream in 4K. And we were finished by 9:30 at night. And when I talked to Leo and the other guys, they said they usually finish around like 12, 1 o'clock at night. So
Wait, why is that?
because you have to put a bunch of different pieces together, like audio, video, visuals, speakers.
And you were kind of there to like be the tech guy.
And then it was like that one board just saves so much time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, what does that board do?
It allows you to live stream, and it connects all the cameras and the wires and the speakers and the outputs all in one system. So you don't have to have like a bunch of different things at once.
Going all together, yeah.
Yeah.
How much is something like that?
You know, they'll run you about $5,000-$6,000.
Actually?
Yeah.
Shish.
They got it on a discount, I think, though, for like $3,500. It was well worth the money though. So that was good. Yeah. So what do you want to talk about this week?
So we'll go into the Texas trip, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And just kind of explain what we did, the whole setup process, why we're there. We went to San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty cool experience. We were out of town for the weekend, a little longer than 3 days. So if you want to like just talk about that experience and what we did with that.
Well, the flights suck there
What was that?
because we had a layover.
Yeah.
I lost my AirPods.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Yeah.
Well, I found this place, and then it's called Dawson's Boatyard in Alabama. And they were like, yeah, the lost and found is next door, but you can only access it through a website. So now I have to like put in an order, and then I have to pay to get my AirPods back. But at
this point, just get new ones.
Yeah, if it's like, too expensive, like I'm just gonna get brand new ones. That sucks.
Yeah.
They're probably making a bank off that if no one claims it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that happened. We touched down San Antonio is a pretty cool place. It was under construction everywhere, so didn't really get to see too much. Mostly we were at the hotel. The hotel is pretty nice. We set up. It gave us a good opportunity to bond with our client, the team, our client's team, meet a lot of people, and yeah, it was overall a great experience. And I think you need that in business because there's a level of strictly business to business, right? But if you can break through the barrier and create a connection that's more than just transaction and here's what I do, and it's more of a bonding thing, and you have a human connection.
What are you talking about, like in person versus digital?
Yeah. No, I'm just talking about like clients in general.
What about it?
Like having that human touch, having that bonding.
So like being
personable,
client facing.
Yeah.
Like being there with the client.
Yeah.
Videoing, instead of being like behind a computer all day.
But also talking, making the relationship stronger.
Yeah.
It goes a long way, and I think it's a great way to actually learn your client and their philosophies and perspective on life, and it allows you to bring that back to the content a little bit.
True.
And see like what their goals and their missions are, because you can only learn so much in like one face-to-face conversation, right?
Yeah.
Unless you have a service that's more like, here's our software and this is how you use it and X, Y, and Z, and it's a certain subscription on a monthly basis, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a little different, but
if you're a service-based business, I think it's good to be client-facing and building relationships.
Yeah. And you also turn into this, like on the software side of stuff, you also turn into this thing where it's like, if another software comes out and it's competing, it's all about price now. Whereas I feel like when you make it more service-based and it's client to client, and you make those relationships, and they're like, oh, I know Onur, I know Okan, like, and someone else comes along and we're providing very good service, even if it's cheaper, they're going to be like, no, fuck that. Like, I'm not going with a cheaper service. You see what I'm saying?
Because you've built a relationship.
Because you built a relationship.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's like building your book.
Yeah.
So that I think that's what we gained out of it.
You want to explain like a little bit about what the event was?
Yeah, the event was so Vince does about, I think it's either 3 or 4 a year. I think it's 3. So it's 3 in-person mastermind meetups a year. One is in Orlando, one is in New Jersey, and then the other one is in San Antonio, which I think he's changing to 2 in New Jersey, 1 in Orlando. Orlando's sick. We go there every year. We've been going there every year with Kyle. That's actually how we met Vince. It was first the New Jersey mastermind, and then we got invited with Kyle because Kyle took us to the Orlando mastermind. It was just an awesome time. But it's a bunch of business owners that come together, and they're all in the same walks of life, and they get to just learn from one another and get information from one another. If something is working with one gym owner and another person is, maybe just starting out, or if they're just not doing the process right, or they don't have the right insight on something, it's just another group of people that are on the same mission, same path to grow their gym, and now you have access to those resources. So I think, like, even with us in the masterminds that we joined, sometimes people get very confused on what the actual value that you get out of these groups, right? Like, for example, Kyle has a coaching group, the Panda Nation. And I feel like sometimes people look at it and say, oh, well, I watched the videos, I'm doing the PDF stuff, right, or whatever. I'm doing the homework. I'm writing down my goals. I'm losing the weight. I'm good now. I don't need it, right? And it's one step further. It's just having a group that's going to hold you accountable. And I think that's where the true value comes from, because it's making other relationships with other people, and maybe that will lead to business. Maybe that will lead to breakthroughs, and that can lead to more insights, more knowledge, more value. If somebody in that group is making $10 million a year, and you're making $100,000 a year or $50,000 a year, that's someone that you want to talk to. It's not always about talking to the person that's leading that mastermind. And I think a lot of people get confused with that. It's building a network of people. Like, who do you want to surround yourself with? Do you want to surround yourself with people that are, if you have a business, do you want to surround yourself with people that have 9-to-5 jobs and all they do is just clock in and clock out and that's it, and they go out on the weekends, and I'm not saying there's anything about going out on the weekends, because we do it here and there, but if you surround yourself with those people, you're not going to ever get further, right? And you can still have those friends, but the more people that you have on the same mission and same path as you, it just leads to more opportunities, more networking, right? So, like, how many times have we met people in masterminds that it just brought us more business? Like, a great example, we weren't even part of a mastermind, but one of the masterminds, I think we talked about this on the first podcast, but one of the masterminds that Kyle first joined, that brought us a lot of business because of the work that we were doing for Kyle and the hours that we put in, the sweat equity we would put in, and it just translated to networking with the right people, getting the right people on board, and then those people introduced us to more people, and those people introduced us to more people, and now we lost some clients, we let go of some clients, we gained more clients, and that's just kind of how business works, because you're in the beginning, you're more creating the process of how your business should be structured, because 2.5 years ago, we didn't really have even a Dropbox process to putting stuff up. We had an iCloud and we put folders together and that's it, right? But now we have a whole system that we use, an Asana software, Dropbox software. Okan built something out where as soon as something is uploaded to Dropbox, that it goes out and notifies the editors that there's new content in there to work on. And like, we didn't have that like a couple years ago, right? So I think there's going back to networking and just being in the right circles. It's you grow from that. You find different things, you know what I mean? And those people bring you more value, and you have to offer value. You have to give value, but it's just, you got to be all about the growth. And I just wanted to say that because I feel like people look at the product or service as like the end all be all for, quote unquote masterminds, but it's more about the people in those masterminds. You know what I mean? Like, that's why they call it a mastermind, because it's a bunch of minds coming together, creating great ideas. And even for us, we talked to, a couple people at Vince's mastermind, and think about this. They're gym owners. We make content. So you would think, oh, it's a completely different industry. But even talking to, one of our old clients, John Doherty, we were talking about just different things on how to kind of structure your business and how to leverage certain things, so you have a better business culture, right? And that was great insight. And this is a guy that he's in the 7-figure a year mark in his business, so he has way more insight, and you can transfer a lot of those ideas or ideologies to different industries. Because at the end of the day, business is business, right? And even if it's a different industry, the structure still kind of lays out the same. It just might be a different software. It might be a different process. It might be a different sales tactic or different script or different target audience. But all in all, the structure is pretty much the same. So, and I think Vince has a guy in the mastermind group that is a realtor. So that should tell you everything right there, right? If a realtor is coming to these masterminds because he sees value of structuring the business the right way and coming together with the right-minded people, that should tell you a lot. So, yeah.
No, yeah, I completely agree with that. And I think like with like the whole point of those masterminds, I'd say yes, they all are getting value from the speakers that are speaking, but it's a group of people coming together with the same mission, and that kind of goes back to like, who do you want to be surrounded by? What you were saying before. Mm-hmm. So like the saying that's always thrown around, like you're the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Mm-hmm. So like I think it just allows for you to start becoming a part of your own ecosystem and then growing from other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I think that is the most valuable thing. And it's the people that are in those groups and they all have the same mission, and it's to grow their gym, you know? And it's like, all right, we're all here in a room together. We're going to be learning from someone who's, many people have successes in their own ways, and a lot of people have struggles in their own ways, and, you know, maybe the same ways, or maybe some people have, you know, gone past obstacles, you know, and now I could relay the message to the person who's struggling. I already went through this. I know how to fix this problem for you. I've went through it so many times, right? So it's like bouncing off ideas. I think there's so much value in that, because I hear Vince say all the time, like, don't try to learn it yourself if you could learn it from other people. Surround yourself with people that have already gone through it. Because it's going to speed the process up. Like the one gym owner that he works with, that you know, he got him to like was it the 7-figure mark or the 6-figure mark?
I think it was 7-figure mark.
It was a 7-figure mark, and like a record-breaking time, because he was surrounding himself with other gym owners who have already got to that point. And those people, it took them much longer to get to that point. But if you're surrounding yourself with people that are constantly speaking that language, or constantly talking about, you know, XYZ that's associated with that niche, that business, like you're just going to start to understand it. You know what I mean? You're going to understand the problems. You're going to know what to ask, what questions to ask, you know, what not to say, what not to put your attention on, what to prioritize. I think there's just so much value in building and being a part of a community where you're all trying to do this kind of the same thing, right? Like, who's gonna get better ideas? You by yourself in a room with maybe one other person, or 100 gym owners all put into a room? You know what I mean? Yeah. So like,
and then this person has one great idea. That person has one great idea. That person has one great idea. And then all of a sudden it's 100 ideas. And yes, you have to definitely take action on one and go from there. Yeah. But at least when you get one thing right, you can be like, okay, this is the next thing I got to go to. That's the next thing I got to go to. Yeah. And then as you keep building and building, eventually, I mean, we're not even there yet, but eventually you'll wake up one day and be like, holy shit, how did I get here? Yeah. And like, that's literally been our story from day one, is holy shit, how did we get here? And it's the greatest feeling in the world, but you have to put in the work. Right. And,
well, I think like the streamlining thing that you were talking about, like how, like that just kind of like made me realize a different perspective on it. Like putting yourself in these groups or building or having a community or being a part of a certain community, like that in itself could allow you to grow just like money can, you know what I mean? Like we're just putting in sweat equity, and then we started getting shouted out in certain groups, certain communities, right? And then after putting in so much work for so many months, and then now being in the right circles, a lot of opportunities started to arise. Like it almost felt like it was overnight. Yeah. But it wasn't overnight. It wasn't overnight. It was like almost a year.
Yeah, but it was right time, right place, and there was definitely luck involved. And I think people say some people say there's no such thing as luck. I think there is luck, but there's timing in luck. So there's always going to be days of luck where you're going to get the right opportunity, right? But if you're not ready for it, and if you can't actually act on it because you don't have the skills to act on it, then you're never going to be able to exercise that action or that action step, right? And that's where I think that we've been very good at, is that we've been just doing the work. And then when the right opportunity presents itself, we're ready to attack it, and we're confident in what we're doing. Yeah. Whereas somebody else would have been like, I don't know how to approach this, or I can't make that sale, or I can't ask for this price, where we have been doing it for so long and we know exactly what it takes. And I remember there was a I think it was Hermosi that said it, but I don't, maybe not. But there was an entrepreneur that once said that your price, the price that you charge, like it'll come over time. So it's not that like the market dictates the price, right? But it's not about figuring out a price and matching it to the market and doing X, Y, and Z. It's the value that you bring. So year one, like less than a year, we were charging $500. But then 2.5 years later, that price 10x's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 3 years from now, that price will 5x or 10x again, because you're setting the price because you know how to bring value.
Yeah.
So you're setting the price. And I think when people, like, you should really test that. I think I really believe this, that if you're starting a business or a service, service or product, that you should just kind of go up to a couple people and say, hey, this is my price for this product or service. Would you pay for it? And then if they say no, then maybe you adjust it down, or maybe you adjust it up. Try going higher. A lot of entrepreneurs, or Hermosi says this all the time, says go for the higher price, because it just makes it feel like so much superior, right? And Vince actually talked about this too. He said one time when he went to Walmart, I think it was Walmart, he had to run out to some store. I think it was Walmart, and his wife asked him to pick up something like blankets or pillowcases, and he was like, I don't ever shop. I go to the store. And he's like, I went up to the aisle and there was 3 of the same product, but they were all different prices. And he was like, I don't know. And he just picked up the more expensive one.
Yeah.
And then just left. Because in your mind, there's something programmed that says, for some reason, the higher price is the better quality. And that might not be the case, but there's something that presents itself with this high price of, that's the best service, that's the best product.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's why people go to still pay for, Starbucks coffees when they can get a $2 cup of Joe at a Quick Check or 7-Eleven or whatever, wherever. But because you have this hardwire in your mind of higher price means the best, you're willing to go to Starbucks and spend $10 on a coffee or a latte.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't know what that is. It's just it's a psychological thing.
Mm-hmm. But going back to it is just, so when you start out, just try raising your price. Go up to a couple people and set the price and the value yourself, and don't try to tie it to, I don't know, if you have a lawn mowing service, and the other guys are charging $50 a lawn, go in and be like, I charge $150 a cut.
Yeah.
Oh, why do you charge $150 a cut? Oh, well, I actually offer X, Y, and Z.
Well, that goes 2 ways though. So like, if you're going to ask, like, okay, so when you're putting in work over time and you're improving your product or service over time, and you work with plenty of people, and you have this understanding of the amount of input of work that needs to be put in for this product or service outcome, then you can kind of gauge what it's worth. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it takes time for you to like really be like, oh yeah, like this is what that my time is worth this much.
Yeah.
And my service is worth this much. And I get that now. You know what I mean? Over time. So it's like there's an understanding with that, I think. And then I think there is, and also you need to have an understanding if you are just beginning and you're just starting out, just saying, okay, I'm going to raise my prices. Why are you raising your prices? Because if this person is charging this much, like let's say he's charging $50 and you're charging $100, you need to kind of justify that, in my opinion, as a service-based. I'm thinking service-based right now, but maybe even as a product-based, because are they going to keep paying for that? Like, what makes you different? Is your product better? Like, take a step back, analyze what you actually do, what you actually offer, and what your service or product is, and is it really that good? Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of people like just want to play business, like, you know what I mean? Like they want to have the meetings, and they want to have they want to be the entrepreneur, and they want to, they want to, oh yeah, I got an office. Like
it's like back in when I played football in high school, Like some people just wanted to wear the jersey because they just wanted to say, "Oh, I play varsity."
Yeah.
But they don't give a fuck about the football.
Yeah, they're not gonna put in the work in practice. But like, I think that's a huge like frame of mind.
Yeah.
Right. It's like it's okay if you're gonna charge more. Why are you charging more? And can you provide more? And I think it goes hand in hand. Okay, so if you do charge more, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means clients, right, are going to.
Dude,
it's
chill.
just throwing me off. But I think if you do charge more, I think clients are if
Dude, can you?
but dude, every 5 seconds you're like,
yeah, because I keep getting notifications.
Okay,
I just turned it off.
Yeah, but it's so annoying.
I just turned it off.
But it's annoying.
Relax.
Where was I now?
When you're trying to charge a service, you have to build up to.
Yeah, so you have to build up. So if you're going to charge for something and you're going to build up, right, the service. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore because you fucked me up. So annoying. Cut this out, Cooper.
Are you fucking serious?
Dude, it's literally
You came into this podcast in a bad mood. I don't know why.
But you're just like this. Look.
Yeah, I kept getting
I'm talking to you
notifications,
and you're
and
like
then I clicked it because I turned the notifications off.
All right. So what was my point? Because I was getting into somewhere good.
It's just like building the value.
Yeah, no, but I was getting to something that you didn't understand yet.
Yeah, I do understand.
No, you don't, because I didn't get to the point. So what I was talking about is if you're going to raise the prices of your product or service,
Mm-hmm.
you have to have a reason why you're going to pay. You have to justify it, right? Okay, I can cut the best grass ever. Like my team can cut the best lawn, and we're so pristine with it, and it's going to be clean. We have the best equipment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to put in the work to do that. I think you have to put in the work to do that, and now it's like it goes hand in hand. So now, okay, I'm charging more for this better product, and now because I'm getting paid $100, I could actually provide a better product or service.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So it kind of like it goes hand in hand. So like, if you have to focus on providing a really, really, really good product, really, really good service, if you're going to charge more, and if you do get the deal at that price, now you have to deliver on that because you have the resources, the money to back it up.
Mm.
Now you could actually deliver on that thing. So I think that's where a lot of people go wrong is like, oh, this person's charging $3,000. So I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to charge $2,500. Well, now the product is just going to go to shit if everyone keeps accepting that. And then now, okay, if he picks $2,500, the next person's going to pick $2,000. And now with the resources that's being put into that, right, from the client or the customer that's paying for it, the quality of the product is going to start going down.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And over time, I think that's when it just crashes if it keeps going in that trend.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So if you have a good product or service, put in the work and make it the best and ask for what it's worth. And then just keep doing it and get better and get better and get it. And the better you get at it, the more confident you are at it, the more you can start asking for it because you're delivering on that promise, you're delivering on that value.
Mm.
So that's how you become confident with your price points, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's what I was saying too, but I think I left out the part that, we explained this on the first podcast, but we worked for 8 months for free to like really figure out what type of service that we were going to offer. And we didn't even think we were going to go that route, to be honest, with other clients, but it just kind of landed and happened and we went in that direction. But in that next year, that's all we did. How can we make this better? How can we make this better? How can we make this better? Buying new equipment, buying better cameras, buying better whatever. Now when we show up to a client, they feel like they're getting world-class
Premium service,
right? And then now this year, one of our goals is to always get to a client before they get there and have everything set up before they even walk in. So now it's not only the best premium service, we are showing up before they even get there and they don't have to worry about anything, right? They just walk in, they're like, oh shit, they're set up. And not every videographer is going to be able to provide that service, because our industry is known for flakiness and being late and being like maybe like calling out last second and saying, oh, let's just reschedule, because somebody else might come and tell them, oh, I have a better offer for you for the day. And then they try to move things around. But if you just this is why relationship building is so important, because if you can do this over and over and over again, and, if you have to, miss an appointment or whatever, that's why scheduling is important. So you can let your client know 2 weeks out or a month out, hey, I don't have this date available because someone else asked me, or I have prior obligations, but I can do a workaround, or we can just, do it the week after. And if you can frame it like that, and you're on top of what you're doing with your time and your appointments, you'll never have a dissatisfied customer. Right. And that's what it's all about. It's about making the customer happy and completely taking out the complexity for that customer. And that's how you're going to win in the long run. Because now, I know we're talking about Vince a lot on this podcast, but, it was a great like honor to have Vince shout us out at his mastermind like three separate times. Really, dude?
Sorry.
But he shouted us out 3 separate times, and that just goes to show you that he loves the service. And I do extra things for him. He asked for certain things to get done, and maybe sometimes he doesn't even ask for it, and I'll just do it because he's the type of client that is like our ideal client and we love working with, right? So it's about going the extra mile, making your clients happy. And then also when you do these extra things, it's like, it's an opportunity for an upsell for you too. And Vince actually taught me this, is say that you offer the video service and the editing service. And then maybe you just come the next time with 30 different scripting ideas for your client, right? And they go, wow, that was awesome. We got 30 videos done in 4 hours. And you're like, oh yeah, it was all, yeah, I put it all together, no problem. And then the next month you go and he goes, wait, why don't you have the scripts? Well, yeah, it does take another additional 5 hours, but if you did like that, like I can add that. It's just, a $500 package a month extra. And now it's an opportunity for you to build value and also get paid for it.
True.
Right. So, and that's a lot of things. And these are things that we're learning now, which is crazy because we're in year 2.5 of business, but these are the things that are starting to come on our plates. And I know it sounds so simple and I could have thought of that on my own, but when you're in the trenches, all you're worrying about is like, how do I keep this business afloat? How do I keep my guys on payroll? How do I keep the money coming in? How do I keep my clients happy? How do I keep, how do I pay for my rent at the end of the month? How do I do this? How do I do that? And it all is a lot of pressure, but if you can take one step at a time, and you knock those steps out one at a time, eventually you get to.
Sorry.
Eventually, you will build so much value that people will be willing to pay for your service. One, and then two, which I think is the greatest thing, is people will start referring you to other people because they say, "Hey, you're talking about video? These are the guys to go with. I'm telling you, they have the best service. You're never going to find anything like this ever again." Right? And then when they give you those referrals, it brings you in more business, and maybe you can charge more. Maybe you can charge the same price or whatever it is. You build your book, but it's all time in business that things start to the foundation starts to get laid down, and you start to create this structure, and you start to figure out what your business really is. Like for us, we didn't really have a company mission, right? We didn't have a goal to go toward. We had goals, don't get me wrong, but we didn't really have a North Star to go towards, right? And now we told ourselves that it's going to be 100 business leaders that we want to go after, because we know with 100 people, we can take over the internet, and it's 100 business leaders that are actually giving value back, and the messages that are authentic and truly help people online, right? And even if it is in person as well, but it just translates from online, because there's a lot of people out there that say and walk the walk and talk the talk and tell people how to make money on drop shipping or tell people how to make money building a business. And you know what? Majority of the time, it's all fucking bullshit, So it's how do we create our service and create so much awareness that we can build that? But that's just time and business. And eventually, time and time again, you'll start to figure those things out. And that's what we're currently in the midst of.
Yes,
But,
I think it's like, so it's like you're like describing like hustling essentially in the business world. You know what I mean? So it's
I'm describing hustling in a corporate sense.
Oh God. But it's like,
You could have just said hustle owner.
but it's like when you're putting in the work, and then you're prioritizing that work, So I think over time when you're constantly, it's like all we do is work, and all we think is work, and all we breathe is work. And when we're not working, we're thinking about work and like about this business, and you know what I mean? It's like, it's just constantly on our mind. On the weekend, we're thinking about the business. When we wake up, the first thing that's on our mind is the business. When we go to bed, we're thinking about, how can we make the business better? Like, it's a 24-hour thing, and there's so much going on, and it's like you're holding up so much on your shoulders all the time, constantly, because it's you have the mission, you have the North Star, you understand what direction you're trying to go towards, and a lot of noise and distractions and mundane tasks start to arise in my opinion. So learning how to, like, within the hustle, I think it's so important learning how to prioritize and doing things that are most important. And so like to be able to put in the most effort towards those most important things, and making sure that that's always hit. So like the big thing for us is we want to have really, really good service, right? We want to improve our service constantly. If most media services are doing XYZ, we want to do, XYZ 1 and 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? Like we want to add more to the plate always. Like, what can we do? Add more, and what can we add more? And it's like, I think that is how you become better. Like, what are they doing, and how can we make it better? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then I think how you can start doing that is delegating the tasks that don't move the business forward. So like simple things, like when we first started with this podcast, we were clipping it up manually and editing the whole thing manually and whatever, right? And that was building the momentum for this podcast, for example, right? For us to get videos out, and we're like, okay, we're on top of this. This is going to be a thing now, right? And now we're like, all right, we have the infrastructure for that. We understand what we're trying to do with this thing. Now let's delegate it, because that's not what's moving the business forward. Like we could keep moving the business forward, essentially, right? Mm-hmm. So now we're clearing up more from our plate. Okay, now what's the most important now to get us out there, right? So it's like, okay, now it's opened up more work for us, and this thing is now running on its own. But we had to first put in the work a little bit by ourselves, and then now we can kind of slide it over and let it run its course. And now it's like, okay, what's the next thing? Now we have in our time block, because we're scheduling our days intensely every single day. Oh, wow. 48 hours just opened up for us. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? It's like, all right, now what can we improve? How can we improve now? Is it service? Is it this? Is it that? You get what I'm saying? And now it's like, I think that's how you start to grow. You get what I'm saying? It's delegating. So like
delegating, opening up time.
Yeah.
And then just kind of keep finding where you can just keep delegating.
What's the most important? And then working on the most important thing. And then now, okay, you've figured out the most important thing. Now sliding it back and delegating it.
Because now if we can, because it was taking us almost all week to create the podcast reels, create the thumbnails, create everything, right? And it not like every hour of the day, but it was taking multiple hours a day for the week. And a big transition for content right now is a lot of people are going live. And Okan's been showing me, like, on Twitter or X, Instagram. I've been seeing a lot more people going live recently. YouTube is another one. Rumble is a great platform for live. And then now, if we talked about this today, and we have to plan it and see how we're gonna actually kind of put this whole thing together and what the game plan is going to be. But I gave him the idea today. I was like, maybe we should just go live for an hour every day, right? Like we could just talk about whatever, or like talk about the trending news or whatever the case may be. But we couldn't have done that by, for the last month of doing this podcast, because we didn't want to put pressure on our guys. We wanted to make sure that they were okay with the clients. And now we have that opportunity that because our time opened up, now we can 5X or 10X on
things that we feel are important.
Also creating content.
Yeah.
And then from there, right? Because it's already starting, bro. Like,
how long has it been since we've been posting? 4 weeks?
5 weeks.
5 weeks, and we're already feeling the impact.
It's insane. So like, and this is another thing. Don't worry about going viral.
Yeah.
Do not worry about going viral, because I will tell you right now, just by posting every single day, we have eyes on us. We see past people that we used to work with watching all our videos. We see new entrepreneurs watching our videos, and it's only a matter of time before people start reaching back out to us, or just reaching out to us in general. Like, business will come there. Your message needs to be on point, but the business will come in, right?
True.
People will start asking. Like, even a great examples. I don't know the guy's handle, but some kid that helps other entrepreneurs go viral as well. And this goes back to the mastermind idea. He reached out to me and he was like, hey, not here to sell you anything whatsoever. I just want to get on a phone call and see how we can help each other, because here's my clients. And then he showed me his, and he's like, I've seen your clients, and I know one of the old clients that we used to work with, Clinton, Uncle Clint, shout out. But he's like, we have a mutual friend. Why don't we just talk and see like how we can help each other, right? But probably wouldn't have that connection. He would have never reached out if, and it could be a sales call, I don't fucking know, but he probably would have never reached out if we weren't making content. And that's just one piece of the puzzle. And who knows? He might give me on a call that we get on, he might give me an idea that just takes us to the next level. Or we might give him an idea that takes us to the next level. And now he's like, yo, I have some other work that like I can't handle, or like I know some clients in New Jersey, or whatever the fuck it might be. And it just creates an opportunity for you, right? Yeah. So like you look at everything as an opportunity, and then you weigh out your options. I think Okan has taught me a lot of being able to say no to things, but really weighing out like, how can this benefit me, right? So there's going to be a lot of opportunities. So it's not too late about getting on social media. If you don't get any views, don't worry about it. We have another client, Nicole, shout out Nicole. She has a business that, I think she started about two years ago, right around the same time we started. And she's been getting views, but just not that much engagement, but people are watching her. And she told me, I felt a little bit, not upset, but it's just, algorithm change. It's a lot harder to get followers on the platform. And I kind of felt a little like upset about the situation, but then she calls me on a night that she went to one of these networking events, and she goes, Onur, I had so many people come up to me. They said they were honored to meet me. Like I felt like a celebrity. So like people are watching you, right? And that's what it comes down to is it's just a drip every single day. Post. And even if somebody doesn't like your content, even if somebody doesn't engage with your content, they might be watching your video twice, 3 times. Who knows?
Yeah,
right?
Honestly, today I'm not going to say who it was, but actually, yeah, I was watching Morgan Pierce. Mm-hmm. But I don't know why. There's something about him that I don't really like. Mm-hmm. But I followed him and I watched his stuff. You know what I mean?
But did you like anything?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But I'm just engaging. Maybe I'm not liking, but like I'm engaging with his content. Mm-hmm. Even though I'm like, I don't love his content. You get what I'm saying? So there's something there about like, even they're watching, just post and post and post. And who knows what the connections can lead to. I think, you know what I mean? I think it's just like
dude, look at Nicole's content. She's getting like 20, 30 likes on a video, but she's getting 1,900, 2,500 views.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That means just think about that. That means if only 20, 30 people engaged, quote unquote, with that video, they would have to watch it like 500 times, playback 500 times.
Yeah.
So that's impossible, right? Because no one's going to sit on their phone on the same video for 5 hours straight. So what does that tell you? That means there's probably at least either 1,000 or 2,000 people that watch that same video back twice, but they just, they scroll past it. But it's only a matter of time, if you stay consistent, that person sees you again, and then they see you again, and then they see you again, and they go, you know what? That message resonates with me. Let me give this.
It's not even just that too, but it's also especially as like if you own a business or you're on social media to like you're talking to a certain person, an avatar, right? So your message is going out to the people that you want your message to go out. If you know who you're speaking to and who you want to be speaking to, right? So like you're speaking every day. If you're posting every day, let's say you're getting 2,000 views a day. You're speaking to the type of person that you want to speak to, and 2,000 people every day. So like that's huge in my opinion,
Yeah.
And like I don't think you get that much reach anywhere else, and especially if you're doing it on multiple platforms every day. That's now it's like thousands of people,
1,000%
daily. So that's pretty good. What was this topic on? Like what did I say when I started off?
Just building value in your business to be able to charge for the price.
No, after that.
I don't know.
Like, how do we get to this point?
It's just being consistent and having eyes on you.
Before that.
I don't fucking know.
No, it was a good point. That's why.
Do you do that? Anyway. So we did get into a fight this week. That's another topic.
It's normal.
It's normal.
We're running a business together and we live together and
we're brothers.
Yeah.
So it's, that you're going to get into fights sometimes. I think you just got to be able to hear the other person and
just beat the absolute living shit out of each other. No,
yeah. Ding, ding, ding. No, but there's going to be times where this is why you need the right partner. Is because there's going to be a lot of times where you want to fucking kill that person. And if you don't trust that person, if you don't believe in that person, if you don't think that person believes in you, you're going to have a fucking rough time running a business. And
as a partner.
And I really believe that, because there's a lot of times that, me and Okan butt heads, but, we fucking... I think we just gotta go back to boxing, because we duke it out and we fucking...
Yeah, when we were boxing, we were like in cloud 9.
Yeah, literally. So I think to move on, I think last, like yesterday when we talked, I think it was just setting aside a time and really just like fucking talking it out and being like, okay, this is how we need to move forward, and here's where we go. Because in the past, before we even had boxing, we would just fucking let shit build up and explode on each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
True.
I think, and that's some real shit, bro. Not a lot of people fucking talk about that stuff. It's running a business with somebody else is super hard, especially if you're
doing it from the ground up.
Yeah.
And like, it's like your life depends on it.
Yeah. And, sometimes there's directions that you want to go in, or sometimes there's directions that I want to go in. And then if I really believe in something and Okan's like, no, we have to do it this way. Like, I'll be like, fuck you, but all right, we'll do it that way, and then sometimes it's the opposite, but it's about compromising. But it's about compromising, but it's also about really sitting down and analyzing both decisions or both visions and being like, what is going to get us moving forward? And a lot of the times I'm big with the visionary for the company. So a lot of the times Okan has to pull me back and goes, okay, dude, that's fucking great, but logically we need to do this first before we could even get there.
Well, not even just that.
And I think a lot of the times is you'll win the argument or like the direction of how we should go because you put it in a logical order or a process that's like, okay, we got to do step by step and this is how we're going to get to that point. Or you'll say you're too much in fucking in the clouds right now, like come back to fucking Earth, and we got to move in this direction before we can even think about getting there. You know
Yeah, well,
what
I think yes, 100%. But also like, I'm just very like, I'm very like
gung ho.
like straight minded. I don't know how to explain it. Like I think when you think of things, you think of it like in like a
The macro.
no, like a circular form. Like it's like very like
Okay.
it's very expanding.
Are you calling me a circle asshole?
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like you'll like your imagination runs like kind of wild. You know what I mean?
Oh, thanks, dude.
Well, me, it's like, which is a good thing, because me, I'm very like spearhead. Like I want to get to the point. I want to get to that point, and I want to get to that point the fastest possible way. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
So it's like, I think it's a good balance between like, okay, if this is where we're trying to go, we have to straight line it there. Like hit the gas and as fast as we possibly can get to that point, and whatever obstacles are in front of us, we have to get past those obstacles, because that's going to take a long time to get to this point, and I want to like optimize our time to be able to get to this point. But I think I think that's bad and good, is because it kind of anchors us towards the direction we're trying to go to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then you allow for the almost like the culture of the company.
Yeah.
Like the imagination and the culture. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, because if I were to just, if it was just me and I was just sticking with my ways, I think it would be very like cutthroat and very dry, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like you allow, okay, but dude, if we could do this and we could do this, I'm like, dude, no, like, but yes, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, so I think that's a good that's a good balance to have, like having someone within, if you're working with somebody else and you're a partner with somebody else, having someone who can think outside the box and kind of reflect. And I mean, I do that too.
I'll give you a great example.
Well,
Months ago, or even years ago, like when we started getting into the funnels and the back end analytics and how to make money and monetize clients, you used to be like, dude, no, like we can't do that. That's too much fucking work, blah, blah, blah. And like this week was the first time you're like, you know what? Yeah, we probably can do that. Like once we build one funnel out, it's just changing, obviously, like the copy. And I know it's easier said than done, but like that was the first time I heard you say, yeah, we could probably do that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And because,
Is it because I lost the fight, or is it because?
but sometimes that's the thing, bro. It's like the way I think is, this is why I fucking hate when people say, no, we can't do it like that, or we can't do this.
Well, I don't believe in the we
no,
can't.
I know. I'm not saying
I'm
you
not.
do.
Well, hold on. I never come from a place of we can't do that. That's not my point.
I know.
I said it's we shouldn't do. We can do it, but we shouldn't do it.
Okay, but hold on.
Because we're trying to get here.
I understand that.
Okay.
But my line of thinking is, if we can figure out how to make this efficient, then we can do it faster and faster. And if we know that there's an ROI on it, now we can start to delegate.
Yes, but why would you? Let's say that thing that you're talking about that doesn't completely align with our mission and what we're trying to get to.
Oh, here we go.
Where we're trying to get to.
Yeah.
Why would you put your time onto something that's not aligned with straight lining? If we see that, okay, this is where we're trying to get to.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to put our time into. And if we put in a month's worth of our time into this thing, maybe not the end result, but like an obstacle that's getting us towards that result. And we put in all our time and effort, and we say no to everything else, and our signal to that thing is maximized, right? Our signal to that thing that we were trying to create in the short amount of time of life that we have, right? That signal that we have with that thing, and putting everything into it, putting all our money into that, like as in gambling, like you're throwing all the chips in, right, onto that thing. Like I feel like that's how you build a massive growth, like a compounding growth. But me personally, when you start focusing on this thing, and then now somebody else comes to you and they ask you for this thing. And then you're like, all right, fine, we could do that. And then you're like, all right, but we could also do this. Now like 6 months have passed by within that time frame where you could have been putting 6 months into the thing that you're trying to build. That thing that you're trying to build, do you believe in that thing? Like, do you believe in it? Is it going to be like the biggest thing in the world? Is it going to be the best thing you've ever dreamed of? Is it why you're working every single day? Well, then you should put every single waking effort into that.
But you look at like, we can only do one thing at a time. Whereas I look at all clients as one thing. Because essentially it's a mastermind of clients. And if we know that if one thing works with someone else, another thing works with another person. And we can use and leverage that skill and be like, oh, the copy here was fucking fire. How can we reposition this copy to this person's copy and create that same impact? And now you're fucking leveraging 5 different clients of back-end copy, but you're creating the best product. And then when you start making money through that, now you can delegate more and more and more, right? And be like, hey, we created the system, the product for it, right? And you're getting paid for it, right? Like, that's the way I look at it, because this is our business. I don't look at clients as separate businesses to Haas Media partnership. I look at it as that is our business.
Yeah, but then why don't you just start selling cheeseburgers too? Like, it doesn't. Where does the line end? Like, if you're just gonna accept everything.
But I'm not accepting everything.
Okay, why don't we just do like a landing page on French fries? Because and then just see how it.
But did I take any?
But do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes,
I'm not saying that you did that. I'm not like fighting you right now. All I'm saying is where does the line? Where do we say, okay, we don't do work with these people. We only do work with these people. Where is that line? In my opinion, if we're gonna say, okay, we're helping 100 business leaders grow their brands,
they're business owners that we're working with.
But do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then we could work with. Okay, well, what if they? Like, is any business owner? Any type of business owner?
Okay, if a billionaire fucking restaurant person came to you and said, I want to build my personal brand, would you take him on? He's like,
that's an ideal client.
Okay.
Okay.
But I thought he's flipping French fries.
What do you mean?
He has restaurants, so isn't that totally different?
No.
Then what are you trying to say?
Where do you stop?
Motherfucker, I'm not gonna bring in a restaurant and say,
I understand. I understand.
Hey, restaurant, I'll do your landing page and I'll get you 50 seats booked.
But I'm saying, like, where is the okay? If we have a certain mission,
but all of our clients do coaching. It's the same it's the same ideology.
I guess
it really is.
All right.
It's not like
I think someone got it twisted, but yeah.
No, I don't. It's not like somebody came to me and said, "Hey, I want to sell cars. You think you can help me get car leads?" I'm like, "Yeah, no problem, man. I'll get you."
Maybe.
Leads. No, motherfucker. Yes, motherfucker. Dude, I turned down somebody that owns a massive fucking dealership.
All right.
And that was gonna be a big fucking thing for us, but I didn't want to do it because I know that didn't align with the mission.
I mean, that kind of aligns.
But that's my whole thing is we look at it as this is the client. Dude, look at
that's how I look at it.
Perfect example.
But that's also how I look at it.
Perfect example is KISS Marketing has how many clients? Will was telling me that, like,
aren't they all in the gym industry?
Yeah, but
Case closed.
Do all of our clients do coaching?
Okay, but it's no, dude. That's where you're getting it wrong. That's where you get it wrong.
So all of our clients don't do coaching?
Dude.
They don't coach other people.
All right, fine.
I'm just answer the fucking question.
Shut the fuck up, dude. I don't know. I think it's almost like, for me, it's who do you, and it's not me being like trying to cherry pick clients. It's not my point, and I'm not saying it in like that direction. I'm just saying, like, I think you can go either direction. You could just get on anyone who wants to coach online that does, that provides value, or you want to work with the best people. And I think that's what makes you an exclusive business. right? It's like, that's how you build exclusivity within a circle. It's like, does he fit the criteria? Like we're trying to build a massive media company, like of like the best of the best. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like, just getting anybody who coaches online, then it's like, all right, then we'll just, if they have some type of community and they just started a page
it's not.
But I know it's not, and I know that's not the case.
I'm not going to take on somebody that's just like, hey, I just started coaching.
I understand that.
We take on clients that have reputation behind them.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
But so I'm not saying that I'm not saying that we're currently working with people like that, but I'm saying like, if somebody were to come, right, where do we draw the line? And we go, okay, is this person going to fit the vision long term? Is this what we want our business to, our media company to broadcast? This type of person? Because I think there's something there. Like you just said, our business is a whole, right? So it's like, if you just let anybody in, and I'm not saying we're doing that because we're not, but I'm saying like, it's just like a food for thought.
I won't let anybody in like that. Okay.
But dude, you're not getting my point.
I get your point.
But do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. If we just let anybody in, we become the village whore.
No, but like if you're thinking about it like at the end point, like, all right, we want 100 business leaders, the best of the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like people that set examples and that lead in their industry. We want 100 of them, and we want to build a network of these people, and like we want to be able to broadcast them, and then we want to be able to build their pages up all throughout the internet and broadcast them everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there needs to be, like the people that we have, they have that. I think right now, they 100% they have that. Like they all are just setting examples. They're doing all these type of marketing. They're leading in their companies. Like they're founders of their companies. Like that's what I envision it to be personally. So like,
so do I.
But if they don't do that, and if they're not that, and if they're not like that setting the example, and I think it's like we don't want to broadcast it because that's not what we believe in, so that's all I'm coming from.
All right.
That's it. What do you think?
No, yeah, I agree.
So then where do we draw that line?
We draw it with like, they shall who not be named.
Why?
Like, I'm not gonna name the person, but
I'm not thinking about anybody.
I'm thinking about a few people, but
not prospects though.
Yeah,
prospects, not actual clients.
Yeah, like people that would end up being the ones that their life depended on it for this thing to work out, like you said, versus the people that can afford it and they just know that this is another piece of the puzzle to get their brand out there. Yeah. And money's not an issue. Right. That's where we draw the line. Because you don't want to do that. If
you want to work with someone where money's not the issue?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because at that point, it's like you're actually doing a disservice if somebody physically can't afford it and they're giving they're giving you their last dollar. Yeah. And then if you can't deliver on that, no, because not every client's the same. Well, it's especially not even that. But especially in our industry, because it's some clients, like we said, take 2 years, takes a year, takes fucking a day. You know what I mean? You just don't know what's going to happen. The content game is changing. It's shifting every second, every minute.
It's kind of like this. It's kind of like, all right, I'm going to start a business, and all I'm going to do is, my business is going to be writing emails, and that's it. That's my business. Like it's another avenue to amplify your marketing, right? So like, yes, there are people that strictly do emails and make millions of dollars, right? Like Ben Settle, right? All those guys, Dan Kennedy, right? Building up emails lists and then providing value through copy, and then selling a service. Mm-hmm. But coming to us and saying like, all right, this is my last dollar and I just want to do emails and I know it's going to work. It's going to take you so long to like build the value and like learn the skills to be able to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you haven't done it already and built the business up, or like understand your value and understand your worth, and like you know how to provide value and you know how to like run a business essentially. Like we can get more eyes on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and we can expand your marketing, you know, that's what we do. And we want to we want to be able to have fun doing it, and we want to be able to broadcast it, and we want to build a community doing it. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
And like, I think I know that can be something massive. Like if imagine
that's something that you turn that into a networking thing, and it's like now you pay big money to even get into this circle.
Exactly.
That's been my North Star since day one.
Yeah. So getting the right people, like to be able to, like, think about it. Like we want to get Vince and Josh York on a podcast. We're getting Carl and Kyle on podcasts. Like the networking is already kind of starting, and then we're just doing this together until like kind of the wheels fall off. But we're gonna eventually have we're gonna have clients on, we're gonna have business owners on, right? And we're gonna like probably like interview them and have like a podcast session with them. And like that's in itself is gonna become more networking, right? So like that's the power of it. Is the media part of it is like the network. Like we're creating this massive hub of networking. It could turn into that. It's not that yet, but it's slowly becoming that, like very, very slowly becoming that, but it could become that. And if we had 100 business leaders to back us up, right, and we're getting them out everywhere daily, like we provide value, they're providing value. And then it's like, and then we're also building a network of the best within our community. Yeah. And I think that's sick. Yeah. That excites me.
Yeah, that excites me too.
That's sick. Like you imagine just being surrounded by the best entrepreneurs, like within a media company.
And with X, we get to be that media outlet.
That's what I'm saying.
Like we get to be that true media outlet of entrepreneurs, of the best of the best.
Yeah. Like just throwing a Haas Media label on it, boom. Like, you know, now you have like that's the outlet. Like that'd be so cool, you know. And that's what it's becoming slowly. And I think we just need to build our brand first. Yeah,
and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, my friends.
I believe it's gonna happen.
I believe too.
We just can't miss.
Can't miss.
So,
but
is there anything else?
I guess we can leave. We can leave this on a cliffhanger.
Well, let me guess. Honey's not calling. No,
what?
I'm just joking.
Honey's not calling?
I said Honey's calling.
No,
I was just joking.
Delar called.
Oh.
I mean, we can talk about it right now.
What?
Just like the automation and AI and X and all that stuff.
I guess we could leave it for the next episode.
Yeah, leave it for the next episode.
Well, I want to put in some work this week. So next Friday, I really want to dive into the streamlining process, because I am the streamline guy. No, I'm kidding. But I streamline now. But I definitely like have been able to streamline processes pretty effectively for like scaling, and like you've kind of been on the floor, like, you know, client facing. Mm-hmm. But I really want to dive into like how AI can incorporate into the business. That's what's like really like driving me right now, because it's so big. Like if I could just catch a little bit of traction in doing it, which I am kind of catching traction here and there, but then I don't have enough time to be able to like really put my time into it. Mm-hmm. I do have enough time. I'm focused on other things a lot of times, and I feel like there is something there with streamlining your business process with AI. And I think it's going to be drastic. And I think people are already implementing it. And I think you'll be ahead of the curve if you figure it out now. And it's just so obvious.
And it's just starting, and we're in the beginning of this.
Yeah. So like if it starts to like really go off in the next year, and now you're trying to play catch up with it. Like you're gonna be so behind. Like I
Yeah.
want to know now, so I go up. So I'm with the growth.
Or will you be?
What?
Because if AI becomes so powerful, you could just be like, hey, what's everybody doing right now?
No, I think
You don't think so?
I think that's further away than we think.
I don't think so.
I think so.
The former CEO of Google said that AGI is coming out in
Yeah,
6
same
months.
with Sam Altman.
AGI is
In the
gonna
next
be
6 months.
fucking wild,
He
dude.
said they could see it in the next 6 months.
Artificial generative intelligence. You can literally say, make a Word document. It'll make a Word document. You can say, build this.
You could still do that.
No, I'm saying like, okay, that's too simple. You can say, hey, I have an idea for the software. This is how I want to run it. Go build the software. It can go build the software. And then it can come back and be like, okay, change this. Okay, it goes back and changes this. And then once you start getting a process together, you could even do, hey, I want the website to have X, Y, and Z, and come back to me when you have X, Y, and Z figured out. And it'll just keep running and running and running in hundreds of seconds.
But you know what's interesting though? Like I have this thing. Where is it? I sent it to Sebastian. It's actually kind of interesting. So like, there's this drop-off rate with the AI intelligent. So like, you know, when you keep asking it stuff, it starts to like, there's a drop-off on like its intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
It's just getting all confused and stuff. So they've done it with like smaller models, and over time they've built it up with bigger models and bigger models. And there's this line on the chart, and it just never goes past this line. It's really weird. Look.
Cross this boundary, and we don't know why. As we train an AI model, its error rate generally drops off quickly and then levels off. If we train a larger model, it will achieve a lower error rate, but requires more compute. Scaling to larger and larger models, we end up with a family of curves like this. Switching our axes to logarithmic scales, a clear trend emerges, where no model is able to cross this line, known as the efficient compute frontier. This trend is one of 3 neural scaling laws that have been broadly observed and remarkably doesn't depend much on model architecture or learning algorithm, as long as reasonably good choices are made.
Oh, that was kind of boring, but like, why is
It wasn't
that?
boring. To me, that just says you shouldn't be fucking scared, because we still have a lot of time
That's what I'm trying to say.
to like, and you shouldn't rely all on AI then,
Why?
because if it can't get past that proficiency line, that means it can never really. They're seeing that it can't be as smart as us.
Yeah, there's something that's not there. Something's missing.
Is it God?
But something is missing though.
But I think
Maybe it's the AGI.
it's in the AGI, but also it could be
It's the critical thinking. That's right.
critical thinking. But I'm saying if one way to spin it is if that shit crosses that fucking line, it might be the fucking destruction of all humanity.
Yeah, but why is that? It's so weird. It just drops off. Every model drops off, and it's like it creates that line where it can't cross. It's so odd. And you see that all the time. Every time I use it, I feel it. It's like you get to a point with it, and you're like, all right, this is like becoming stupid now.
Yeah. Me too, all the time.
Right? Yeah. So I think because that's what I mean. Like I think it's going to happen, and if you're ahead of it, and I think it's really good right now for streamlining processes, and from what I've learned. But there's got to be like so much more that we don't know yet.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think even at the Mastermind in San Antonio, somebody asked me like, do you think I should use captions in their AI software or Opus Clip? And like, I'm not scared to tell people like, dude, if you want to use Opus Clip, go use Opus Clip. But you and I both know that like a lot of the shit is trash that comes out.
Yeah,
of
it just can't.
It doesn't understand how to pick up the message correctly. And maybe it'll get there one day. But and it could
It's
be
very impressive that it does it.
it's impressive that it does it. And maybe it could get there in 6 months, but there's still something about it it feels off.
No, it's just even like it's like a slight detail. So like if you have a person, this is just an example. If you have a person who's editing your videos, there's minor adjustments, very, very minor details that you want them to fix constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas that that room for error for the AI is like way greater. So it's like, for let's say Cooper editing a video, he obviously, Cooper does a great job, but I'll be like, yo, like just move the letters down like a tad, like it's really off that it's like right there. It's like a minor thing. It's not like anything crazy, or change the color of that a little bit. Whereas like the AI's margin of error is like way bigger. So it's like, I think that's the problem with it right now, is the margin of error that it has.
So now I think as a good AI software company would be trying to integrate the AI with like an editing software where you can tell it to do specific things and you're working as the editor to make the edits one by one, versus Opus Clip that's going to give you 30 edits, but like how good are those edits? And like, does it really understand the context?
I think what it does is it just saves time, maybe.
No, yeah, 100%. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I think you can instead of saying I'm going to save you time and I'm going to, oh look, we have a score that says it's 99% viral rate and why it's going to be viral. It should be more of amplifying the editor to make him the best, to make him.
Oh yeah, using it as a tool right now.
Yeah, and like make him like put out like some fire fucking content.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus like it might just be messaging, it might be whatever, but like I think focusing on that first, and then if you could build that model, right? Now, after training with hundreds of thousands of fucking editors, take that data and then create an Opus Clip. Now it's knowing exactly what to look for.
I think where a lot of people go wrong with using AI, especially within their business or just using it in general, is that they're not prompting it correctly. And I feel like I hear that all the time, like when I'm watching videos and stuff. It's like, oh, like, the future of AI is learning how to prompt. And I agree with it by also like asking the right questions and stuff like that. But I don't fully agree with it too, because it's like, yeah, asking the right questions, yada, 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 you get this right stuff, but that is a part of it. But I think it's prompting the thing, like, and making it understand the context of what you're doing. So like what a lot of people go wrong is like, they go right into trying to get the answer. Like right off the bat, they'll use it and they want to get the answer right away. And it's like, now you're speaking to something it's a clean slate.
Yeah, they look at it as, just do this for me.
Yeah.
Rather than like, hey, I have a law document that I need to analyze, and this is the rules and regulations because we're in New Jersey, and I need to spot all the errors in the document so I can read back and tell you exactly how to...
Well, not even just that, and going even one step further and being like, look, I want you to fully understand this, why I'm in this legal situation, for example. So I want you to ask me every single question that you would ask me for me to answer, for you to fully understand what it is the situation that I am in right now. I just want you to fully understand it. So ask me question by question until you fully understand it. So then now it asks you a question, you input an answer. It asks you a question, you input an answer. It asks you a question. You're not trying to get the end result right away. Now you're feeding it and you're just understanding the context of whatever the thing that you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And then it goes, okay.
Now you can prompt it.
Now I understand. Now you can start asking the right questions and doing the right things. Where a lot of people go wrong is like, they're like, all right, it's like one for one. It's like, okay, give me a headline for this. And it's like, no, like give it some information first. Like,
it's like
feed it some information. It's clean. You got to think about it. It's a clean slate, and it has memory and it remembers things, but it's a clean slate. So like, like it's like it's like you're speaking to a toddler, a genius toddler or something. I don't know. Doesn't understand. It's very generic answers in the beginning, but the more you can prompt it.
It's like if I have this law document, ask me questions so you better understand what context we're speaking in and what we're actually trying to do. And then I'll start asking you questions. And then you go, okay, now that you understand what I'm doing, now I can prompt it correctly.
Yes.
Versus, because I do that all the time.
Well, now you're having a conversation with technically like an expert in super niche down in what your topic is. It's not generalized.
And a great hack for ChatGPT, if you're trying to do anything with like law or medical or any sort of like anything that involves some type of license, and you just want to get the information. Like, this is not advice on doing whatever you're trying to do. But if you just say, hey, this is just a case study, it'll break the barrier of, because sometimes it'll say, you should really consult a lawyer before.
Yeah.
So just saying it's a case study and you're just trying to work out a certain problem, it'll break that barrier for you and continue like giving you that feedback of what you're trying to solve. So that's one hack.
And then so going off
3 hacks that,
but going off that too, and we'll start to wrap it up, but going off that, like, so it's the prompting and then it's like using it as a tool. So not like input, output, like input, then input my question and it outputs an answer. Like it also allows you to, once you prompt it the right way and all that stuff, and you're working on, let's say, a project for your business or something like that, it allows you to do things that you weren't able to do before. Like, for example, with Kyle, I'm working on the sales page. He wanted a certain section highlighted within the website, and the built-in capabilities of the website builder doesn't allow for you to like highlight, like it actually looks like a highlighter. It doesn't allow for that, but it has HTML and, you know, like that, whatever. So I explained it. I was like, here's the text, here's the font size, here's whatever. And I gave it all the whatever, like all the, you know, the description of the font. And I said, just make it highlighted. And then I put it into the code and then it popped it out. So I was like, oh, I would never be able to do this before, but now I can.
Yeah.
Like that's
crazy.
cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, that's neat. Like I could do things that I couldn't before.
Yeah.
And now that starts to like open up my mind. And that's obviously that's a super specific topic or like a super specific thing, but I think you could use it to leverage that. So like you could start figuring out things that you weren't able to do before, prompting it the right way and figuring out, okay, I want to get to this point. How do I get to this point? And it guides you towards that point, and and you can actually do it.
Well, I think the point is it still requires some type of effort to get the result that you're trying to get. It's not a 1-for-1.
No.
You know what I mean? As of right now.
Or you'll get super generic answers.
Yeah. And maybe in the future it might be 1-to-1, but like you got to think about it like this. If I told Okan, you know, if I told Okan in a room full of fucking chairs, hey, get me that chair. Like, how the hell do you know which chair to get?
Yeah.
So like that's the way I think you got to approach ChatGPT, because it doesn't know what you're talking about. So give it some context, ask it to understand, ask it to ask you questions so it can better understand. So you have to get it to the same playing field, right? Like you can't just assume. Like don't assume that it knows everything. Don't assume that it can read your mind, because it can't read your mind. So try to articulate what's going on in your mind, what you're trying to solve, what you're trying to create, and then from there, input that into ChatGPT. Now you're on the same level playing field. And then from there, you can start prompting.
So like going off that, and then that's how, for me, the streamlining process is becoming super exciting, because over the past couple of years, I figured out how to streamline some processes within our business that I figured out by myself with, you know, whatever. And now it's like, okay, I want to be able to streamline this aspect of the business, right? And like be able to scale this part of the business. But, and this is the end point that I want to get to. And now I fed it all this information about the business step by step, and it understands exactly what we do and all that stuff, which is kind of weird, but it's private, I think, right? No, it's not. It's open source, right? So is it private?
What? ChatGPT?
Like the information that you're putting in?
Oh no, it's private. It's private to you.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so it's private to you. So like I feed it all that information about the business, and now it understands, and then it's like, okay, this is what you have right now. And I'm like, all right, but I really want to get to this end result. Like help me get there step by step. And then I do what it tells me to do step by step. And then I learn doing it. I learn from doing that stuff. You get what I'm saying? And then it's like, whoa, now I know how to do this new thing, and I want to implement this new thing. When that's, use it as a guide to get to that end point is how I look at it.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
And I think streamlining process, if you're looking at streamlining things and you have somebody on the back end of your business that wants to streamline whatever process it is, they should be prompting, and they should be asking the right questions after they prompted it and they understand everything. And then whatever outcome, okay, I want to be able to produce automated videos on this platform every day without me having to manage it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do I get there? And it can guide you there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But and then you can start incorporating it within those processes. But that's where I'm at right now, and I think I don't really know. There's got to be more.
There's a lot more, dude. We just haven't even scratched the surface yet with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but we'll have more on that next week.
Why'd you do that?
I don't know. We'll have more on that next week, and we'll do a lot more research on it. We'll see how we can better provide you guys with AI and tech and how we implement it with our business. But that's about that. We're going to wrap it up. We've been here for about an hour and 20 minutes or 25 minutes. Again, guys, if you guys like what you see, subscribe, like, comment. If there's anything that you guys would like us to talk about in the future,